What is good, y'all? Making the Walk podcast. I'm Antoine. Thank you, as usual, to our subs and for the first time viewers, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Today, I want to talk about the best division, in my opinion, in the sport, in the game today, and that's the men's Bantamweight division. So recently, obviously, that has been a hot division. We've got Henry Cejudo and Aljamain just had their fight. There was a great lead up to it, a great fight, and Aljamain was able to defend his title somewhat controversially. You know, some people may have a differing opinion, but nonetheless, he walked away with the title. And that really sparked something to me is who is in the top five of the Bantamweight division. And so I took a trip down memory lane just to look at, who has stood out in that division. And I put together my top five. I honestly think that it's kind of something that you can't really dispute. This one's pretty cut and dry. So let's look at it. Let's just check it out. So first off, at number five, I have Henry the Messenger Cejudo, aka Triple C. So just to give you some background about this particular gentleman, if you don't know, uh, he's a Olympic gold medalist. I'm sure you've heard that before. In freestyle wrestling, he's got amazing grappling chops. He's got great takedown defense, and I think what really sets him apart from other fighters, and you saw it in the fight against Marlon Moraes, is his will. He has an amazing way to insert his will into a fight and cause other people to wilt. And a lot of people thought that might happen to Aljamain, but that didn't happen. But Henry has that in his toolbox, and he's an amazing fighter, and I have him at number five. At number four, I have Henan, the Baron Barrow. And this one is kind of going back into the archives. If you're new into uh, mixed martial arts, into the UFC, you may not know who that is. But Henan Barrow is somebody who came in with a ridiculous streak, beat an all-time great in Uriah Faber. And that maybe that's just my opinion. He's a Hall of Famer though, so he's all-time great. He beat him, and he had I think it was a 32 fight win streak or unbeaten streak. And unfortunately, he lost to TJ Dillashaw, and his career kind of dwindled down. But that doesn't take away from what he did. I have him at number four. At number three, the person that I just talked about, TJ Dillashaw, aka Killishaw, which is kind of a cool nickname, kind of a little bit. I mean, I don't know. He never really had a really good nickname that stuck. One of the fighters that came off of the Ultimate Fighter, lost to John Dodson, but was able to reinvent himself and went and fought Henan Barrow and made it look easy. Fought him again, made it look easier. So, and TJ Dillashaw, I think he was a two-time champion. Had some fights against Dominic Cruz, had some fights against Cody Garbrandt. Brought some eyeballs to the division that weren't there just because of the way that he transcended to the title. So if you give some credence to his ability to bring eyeballs to the division, that actually helps bolster his position at number three, in my opinion. But despite the steroid situation and all those things, he's still a great fighter, and I think he'll be a future Hall of Famer. At number two, and this is where things get interesting, I have Aljamain Sterling at number two. Funk Master, despite what people may think of his path to the title, and let me state this initially, I think that it wasn't his fault that he got kneed in the head by Peter Yan. That's a position that he tends to frequent quite often. He did it in the Henry Cejudo fight. It's something that he's familiar with, and Peter Yan did the wrong thing in that position, and he was awarded the title. However, the drawback was how the title was celebrated and his attitude after the fight, and that put a sour taste in people's mouth. And that's where all the venom and all the the side eyes come to what Aljamain is and what he has done um, comes from. Not to mention, the fight against TJ Dillashaw and TJ obviously being compromised because of the shoulder situation. And it's just it's unfortunate that he's gone through these things. Some of them have been direct to actions that he's taken, but some things not his fault. Not his fault that TJ did that or had that situation. Not his fault that Peter Yan kneed him in the head. But nonetheless, you can't take away from what he has done. And what he has done is stifle the bantamweight division and run up a pretty impressive win streak. I think it's at 9 at this point before he goes into this fight with Sean O'Malley. You can't take away from what he has done. And at this point, I have him at number 2. There's a possibility he could transcend that, but I think he would have a lot of work to do, and I don't think that he's going to stay in this division long enough to get it done. So I think that he's probably going to stay at number 2. And who I have at number 1, to me, this is undisputed. There's no question. Shouldn't even be a conversation. Dominic Cruz is the best bantamweight of all time. He is the first bantamweight that came into the UFC from the WEC. He's got amazing, tricky, weird, odd footwork and pacing, and it throws people off. You think that he's tired because he takes these deep breaths in between the way that he moves, but he's not. He's cerebral. He has good wrestling. He has good timing with his wrestling. And he's beaten quite a few people that are esteemed in this division, namely Uriah Faber. But his ability to defend, go through all of the injuries that he's gone through, come back after those injuries, reinvent himself, and even at this point, at an advanced age in his career, he's still relevant in the division, despite some of the losses that he's taken. I think it's undisputed. Dominic Cruz is the best bantamweight of all time, no question. That's my list. If you have something different, you have a different order, you think one of these people don't belong, drop it down in the comments. Let's talk about it.